say
Top Billin. Patreon.com/Top Billin is your source for full unedited videos. You know they claim these videos on YouTube, so I have to send them bad boys over to the Patreon so you can get the full unedited views. And higher tier patrons will also get exclusive content that won't be found on YouTube in its entirety or not at all. Patreon.com/Top Billin. You know I gotta start here, man. Njigba doing the damn thing, and you know it makes me feel good. Telling people for years he's the number one wide receiver and that he can do anything DK Metcalf could do, Dennis Rodman Jr. himself, especially getting vert on people, because it's not about just blinding speed. It's about being able to play football, being able to play the ball in the air, adjust, not only have it to where you have to completely destroy your man off the line of scrimmage to be able to get a long touchdown. So we see motion the trips here to the field side, the wide side of the field here. I motion him to a tight slot, let him get seamed up the field, right, which places him on a safety. I know that's got to be scary as shit. If you were up here and was talking, right, it looked like it was some backhanded type shit. I'm pretty sure he probably wasn't a Seahawks fan, but he was talking about Jaxon Smith-Njigba's style, and at the apex of the route that he says he pushes off each time. Now, he's smooth about it because he does get a little bit of a push, but there's no extension on it. He's just that great. Right? Look at him getting vert. You have to honor the fact that he's Jaxon Smith-Njigba. This could easily turn into an out route, right? It could be a bender, right? It could be a quick curl or anything, because he can run the full gamut, right? So you're not just worried about him getting deep, and then when he does, look at him, right? Look at the separation, right? I thought he couldn't run. He can run, bro. He can run. I'm here to tell you that right there, but it's not even just about that. Look at him adjust to the ball in the air. He has to slow down on this drawing again, all right? So people are going to see this, right, if you're a hater, right, because he's the best doing it right now in the NFL. People are going to say that he's pushing off. I wouldn't say that. He's not getting any arm extension. Look at that. You see that? Just taking the hand off the drawing, right? All right, you allowed the hand fight a little bit. He's getting away with it, in my opinion, because he's not extending his arm out and pushing. But look at that. Look at the hold on, we got to do it. Look at the over shoulder, King Griffey style catch, Yaka. And then, of course, making a man splatter whack himself into a coma. Splatter whacked and rolled over. My man gets to go in backwards with it. What we doing here? Come on, bro. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Njigba, the very best doing it. And another one from the tight slot position here, Jaxon Smith-Njigba running a deep over route. Back to the basket, play action fake, getting that depth here. Yosemite Sam Darnold, who then climbs the pocket and throws off the front foot. This is though. What's going on right here? What's up with that? That's my boy Kevin Winston from Penn State right there. What are they doing? That shit's called the foxtrot or some shit? The tango or some? It takes two to tango. Why they start tangoing? What's going on right here? Jaxon Smith-Njigba causing people to do weird shit, right? Having a tango with that man. All right, let's look at it from this direction right here, right? You got that knit release between your boy Cooper Kupp and Jaxon Smith-Njigba right here. So coming right there, and then look, you can see him interwoven right there with Cooper Kupp going on the outside, and then you get that deep over here. How are you going to defend that right there? Boom, instant leverage. And look at what he did to the, oh my goodness. Look what he did to the corner. He did this again, right? Look at the subtle look off right here, right? Like he's going to bend it to the outside. He did this again a little bit later in the game in the end zone, I believe. And then boom, bang that bad boy towards the corner. Instant leverage, out leverage, Dr. Fauci style, social distancing measures being practiced right here. Too easy for your boy. Yo, break somebody off twice in the same route. What are we doing here? Look at this. Outside approach, had bull leaning, right? Bang, look at that. He had to sit it down in his imaginary seat, right? It's like, you know what? I'm going to take a break right here during this route. This is bad. I just got destroyed off the onset of the route right here. Look at him sitting down in the seat, right? I've never seen nobody sit down in a seat, right? In an imaginary seat right here, just for him to get that inside release on the inside approach. And then watch this, right? Stack him. Pretend like it's going to be a corner route, right? Look that shit off, right? Really getting his acting chops in gear here. Stick that foot in the ground, and then bang. Look at that right there. My man stumbled up out of the transition. Look at this bang. Look at that. He took the false step and everything. How you lose control of your buttocks? He lost control of part of his buttocks muscle right there. And then look at that. Too easy for Smith-Njigba by Yosemite Sam, bro. They be out there just playing around and toying with people, right? That is a lethal connection, right? They need to make a movie out of that shit. Lethal Connection. At the outside approach on an inside move, right? Being imaginative with your route running catch. Let's look at it from this direction here, right? Mano y mano here. Immediately widens it out, right? Short steps that bad boy. Then look at the ankle flexion here. What about stuff like that? Well, people ain't pointing out stuff like that. Ankle flexion right here. And then, of course, like I said before, he's not pushing off here. Yeah, but they're both fighting. All right, they're both fighting going on right there. If it's not called, ain't nothing we can say about that shit, bro. Look at that. Plucking that thing out the sky, getting him some more yardage. You can't mess with this ball. I'm trying to tell you. He can. He's damn near perfect to me as a receiver. What an amazing player Leonard Williams is. I hope he gets some recognition for Defensive Player of the Year. Look at him getting skinny right here, and then bang. Come on, man. Long arms of the law right here. That is a tough play to do on somebody 6'6", 315 or whatever he is. Look at that. Shooting off the line of scrimmage, getting skinny, quick enough to where he's able to recover, come to balance, and then corral Tony Pollard right here. Behind the line of scrimmage. Outstanding work, man. Having an anchor like that in your team. See it from this direction. Look at him up here. Look at him. Ooh, peer arm over that joint. And then he's right in on it. You can't help but be good as a defense with somebody like that on your team. Man, Derek Hall was on a heater today. Oh, my God. He still has control. Damn, he's all contorted up right here. Look, he still has control of his jersey, contorting Cam Ward up. Something serious right here, and Ward just has to just give it up. Look at this. Man, go back to the rush, though. All right, we'll look at both rushes right here. Derek Hall widening it out, and then boom, fighting the hands, getting into the chest, centering them up, and then look at the leg drive right here. This is what you call heavy-legged waist bending. He's just bending over at his damn waist instead of bending at the knees like Derek Hall is, and he's definitely going to get walked into the lap of the quarterback right here. Derek Hall just playing with this ball right here. And then, damn, all right, let's go back to Boye Mafe here. What is Mafe doing against J.C. Latham? Look at this right here. Mafe kind of playing it 50-50, right? Looking like he could go outside, dips back inside on him, runs flat down the line of scrimmage, and, hey, he's first contact, right? Almost simultaneously, but looks like he might be the first responder there. But it looks like Derek Hall gets the better of it. Derek Hall having the Rick Thomas, right? Them pads were popping. I look how he mirrors right here. Very Ernest Jones-like. Right, you can see him on the plane. He's like, all right, I got this gap right here. I'm going to show presence. Just in case he dips outside, I'm ready. But look, he approaches as the running back approaches. He runs inside zone defensively, and then they both meet in that A gap, and then boom, Tony Pollard did not go any further. Don't look any further, because he didn't go any further. And look at that, stonewalled his ass. That's hard. Gray Zabel is a monster. We were talking about that play and his injury, and we were like, man, oh, man, I hate for Zabel, you know what I mean? I was thinking like, he had a really good rookie season, man. Definitely want to see him next year and all this and that. And he's back the next game like nothing happened. What the hell? That guy is a monster. This is interesting. I believe maybe they should have shifted the call, but it's in pistol, so I would think that you would just abort the play action here instead of going to the wrong side because Kenneth Walker read it correctly. His threat was coming from the outside. Even though you're pulling Gray Zabel over there, that would still be Walker's responsibility if somebody else came over there. So good pass pro here. He's able to chain through his progressions there. Once again, Barner right here. Struggling a little bit, right? He's getting lapped right up into Sam Darnold there. Darnold detaches from the pocket. Cooper Kupp, you already saw him flashing in the screen. Great job by him right there. And great job by Darnold keeping his eyes downfield. Great catch by Cooper Kupp and immediately get that tap in. Bang. Michael Jackson that John, and it was all to the good. Derek Carr showing you what being a linebacker is all about, what it entails. You can see him right there come off what it looked like would be his initial assignment, read the quarterback, right, who's trying to low arm angle that joint right there. Look at him run flat down. Boys were hitting today. Man, what a physical game right here. Had to been it back inside on Witherspoon. Gets by with a little help from his friend. No type of bogging down, chopping your feet or anything. Running through the target like a cardboard box. It's like if you run through in these tackles, man, right, you hit it wrong, this shit can hurt you just as well. But if you hit that sweet spot, man, it's like a baseball being hit by a bat in the sweet spot. Same deal right here. It's like running through a cardboard box. And that's exactly what happened right there. Bang, zombie dead man fertilized him something serious. Just a little bit too far on the inside for Kenneth Walker here. And, of course, the cornerback is right there. However, maybe it's the route or whatever, but obviously if it's further outside, maybe, you know what I mean, it's not as egregious there. I don't know, man. I can already feel it, the groundswell of people just like, they're going to be so scared of Sam Darnold every time he's throwing the ball now. All right, last game, a couple of goofies were up here trying to defend Devin Witherspoon for that penalty that he had where the dude was on the ground and all he had to do was do this. Instead of diving at the dude head first, hitting him in the head, if someone's on the ground, they're down already. All you have to do is touch them. Right? You could even slap them a little bit like these guys did. Splack. Come on, man. You got to learn the rules. You just put the refs in an untenable situation when you dive at somebody who's on the ground, man. Stop defending nut shit, bro. Don't be a fanboy. Play it down the middle when it comes to analysis. It's good to see Yosemite Sam get back to doing what he was doing before, which was chaining through the progressions, hitting the check down, or hitting a necessary outlet if, you know what I'm saying, if it's Charbonnet getting a first down. All right, just play calm. Yosemite Sam is calm in the pocket, not trying to make too much shit happen here. He can feel it, right? He has an innate feel in the pocket, and then look at that. I'm not sure where he was going right here with this. It's like he really chained through at least to his tertiary read and then hit the dump off to Zach Charbonnet. Yep, so it looks like it was Shaheed right there. And he does a good job of blocking as well, allowing Charbonnet to turn the corner. And Ole didn't want none of that. All right, we're going to end it right here. Obviously, you know, it's one of those awkward times where I have back-to-back games to cover, and I don't want to be up all night. So we're going to have to do what we have to do on the All-22. I wanted to get to some of the shit on the defense on the All-22 with the defensive line. And the run game looked really good. Obviously, people are going to say it's the Tennessee Titans and they're trash and all this, that. But, hey, like I said before, you have to do what you have to do. I can actually see, knowing this fan base, some people are actually complaining about this game because the score wasn't as wide as they would want it to be, right? It definitely was wide at one particular point in time, but you know how people do. But a win is a win. You move on. But being able to press the line of scrimmage, really show, right? Press that line of scrimmage. Jeffrey Simmons was a problem all day, and that was against anybody, right? It'd be Abe Lucas, Olawood Teamy, Gray Zabel. He was beating everybody. Jeffrey Simmons is nasty, right? I knew he was going to be a very good player watching him at Mississippi State. But you can see right there, wrong ball on the wrong arm, though. You got to definitely switch that sooner. But, hey, you got to the outside and was able to make it happen. But, all right, we're going to cut that one short. But, listen, patreon.com/topbillin. We get to the All-22 there. It's $5 a month for the people who don't understand. It's just $5 a month, and you get all the after-game reviews that are full and unedited right there, right? And then the higher tiers, you get exclusive content, and we have some stuff coming soon for the even higher tiers than that. All right, with that being said, big salute to all my villains out there. And your Seahawks have, once again, another win. So cry about it if you must. But, hey, wins don't care how you get them. Salute.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.